Alright, well, hello everyone. Welcome back to the Keystone Productions YouTube channel. Eddie here. And it's a beautiful day here in Northeast PA. Balmy 22 degrees. We just got done getting a horrific ice storm. We got at least a half an inch of ice, so that's pretty fun. But anyway, we got to talk about turn signals today, and specifically LED turn signals and Hyperflash. So if you happen to watch my video doing the full walk around and whatnot of this car, you know already that I have installed LED turn signals on the front and the rear. And actually I've installed full LED lights everywhere on the car, but on the rear as well as the front. So all 6 turn signal bulbs are LED, and they are flashing a little quicker than stock, but they're still not, blinky, 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 blinky like mad. Hyperflash would be if I didn't do this mod. So there's actually 2 different ways that you could do this. There's the much more labor-intensive way, and that's installing an inline resistor with every turn signal bulb. And that's tricky because you got to do a lot of wiring. You got to make sure that you mount these resistors in a location where the heat could dissipate from them, and it's just a lot of work, a lot of hassle, especially when you could get the same effect doing the way that I did. Now, what is the way I did? Well, what I did is I did the LCM relay or flasher I think is the right word, the LCM flasher mod. And basically all that consists is coming up here under the dash and wiring in a flasher module dedicated for the turn signals. So if we come on up here under the dash, you'll see the lighting control module, which is this big black box here. It's bolted to that rusty mount with at least this one fastener. There may be multiple, I forget because it's been so long since I've had this out. But there's 3 connectors on the back of it, and you can kind of see all the wires back there. You're going to be looking for, if you have an 06 or newer car, 2 white with red stripe wires and 2 solid light blue wires. If you have an 05 or older, you're going to be looking for the same color wires, but there's only going to be 1 of each color. And basically all you do is you get yourself an external flasher, which is this black box right here, and just splice those wires out of the harness and connect them to the flasher, and that's really all there is to it. And you could kind of see up there, right there, there's 2 bundles of electrical tape, and you can see the white with red stripe wires on the left and the solid light blue wires there on the right. And there really isn't not a whole lot to it. The hardest part is really just contorting yourself up here under the dash to do it. And what's nice about my flasher specifically is simply that it is silent. So as you can see, the turn signals are still blinking, but there's no noise coming from the flasher. So it's definitely a little change of pace for sure to have a flasher that does not do the click clack stuff. But I really enjoy that, having silent turn signals. It's something I didn't know I really needed until I had it. But the other nice thing about this specific flasher that I have is that it is adjustable. So you can make them flash as fast as you want or as slow as you want. And as you'll see when I cut down to the Mercury, because I also did this mod to that car, Alright, so flash forward in time, and we're down here with the Mercury, and under the dash it's pretty much the same thing. As you can see, I've got the relay up there. That is, I get my finger, there it is, right above my finger there. And on my 2005 Mercury Grand Marquis, there's only 2 wires, but they are the same color. You can kind of see them. There's a white one there and a blue one. Same colors as on the Crown Vic, but there's only 1 of each. And all I did on this one, since this was the second time I'd done this, just extended those wires to give me a little more wiggle room for the relay, and just put them on there. So pretty straightforward, pretty easy, and it works just the same. What I really like, I've probably said it once already, I'm filming this section before I'm filming the rest of the video, but I said this, probably said this once already, really like this flasher just because it has an adjustable flash rate. So what that means is if we turn the flash on here, you'll see that I have full LED non-hyper-flashing turn signals, both sides. But you'll notice that if we were to compare these to the Crown Vic, that these are set up to be a little slower than that car. And I could show you that right here. So you can see that this is set up to be a little faster, but it's still not, you know, the blinky, 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 blinky like mad with normal LED hyper flash. And that's pretty slower. That's probably about where it's supposed to be. But I kind of like the little faster for the Crown Vic. But at any rate, that's all there is to it. Not really all that difficult. I'm sure when I'm filming on the Crown Vic, when it's not 2 degrees outside, I'll go into a little more detail about the wiring and everything, but on a 2005 Mercury Grand Marquis, it's very similar to a 2010 Crown Vic Police Interceptor. Now, I was a little prepared for this video. I got my Panzer platform printouts here, just because contorting myself up under the dash when my floor is clean and dry is a tough enough ask, but the fact that there's snow, ice, salt, and water down there means I'm really not going to get down on the ground, at least not now. If there's further clarification needed, once the weather gets nicer, I'll get down on the ground and get under the dash a little nicer. But this is pretty much a wiring diagram for the lighting control module from 1995 up to 2004. Now, you'll see I have, there's a section for 2003 and 2004, and then there's a section from 95 to 2002. And again, as I said, from 2005 and up, the pins may have changed, but the wire colors did not. So you're really only looking for the wire colors. So we'll just use this, this one, this diagram. This is on the 95 to 2002 diagram. Now this says that there's a 16-pin connector that you're going to be looking for, and there's 2 wires, naturally, the solid light blue and the white with the red stripe. Similarly, on 2003 and 2004, there's the same 16-pin connector, and there's the same 2 color wires. Now they have them labeled differently, but it's still the same. And then naturally, I don't have a diagram for 2005 and newer, but since both of my cars are a 2005 and a 2010, I could testify to the fact that the pins may have changed, the connectors may have changed, but the color of the wires did not. Now, what I can't tell you is why specifically 2006 and newer have duplicates of these wires. So, like on my car, this car here, I've got 2 light blues and 2 white with the red stripes. I can't tell you what exactly that does, mostly because I don't have the wiring schematic. So anyway, again, the pins may have changed, the locations of these wires may have changed, but the colors did not. So there's 3 connectors going to the back of your LCM, and you're just looking for the light blue and white with red stripes. And to my knowledge, you could pause the video here and look through this diagram. There's no other wires that are solid light blue or white with red stripes. So that's the first sheet. The next sheet here is the specific flasher I got. Now, as you can see, I last purchased this item November 14th, 2019. And that would be the one that's in the Mercury. So I've had this flasher in here, which is this same flasher, in here since, I think, June or October or September of 2019. So you can see that it's held up really well. But anyway, this is the original Amazon listing for it. Unfortunately, it is currently unavailable, but you could see what's written on it, and you can see that there's 50 cm, I think that's clicks per minute, up to 200, that's the variable rate, and all those specifications. It's only a 2-prong flasher, nothing fancy, and this is what the other side of it looks like. And this right here, that's what you turn with a Phillips, or I'm sorry, with a flathead screwdriver to adjust how fast or slow everything is flashing. And all I did to connect, those wires to these prongs was, on this car, I just twisted the 2 like color wires together and then put a spade terminal on, and then rinse and repeat for the other one. And then I just touched them to either prong, and if the turn signals didn't work, I swapped them, and then it did work. So on my Mercury, since I only had 1 wire, I just simply snipped the wire, put a spade terminal connector on, and connected it up. So really nice and easy. But that's the specifications for that. Now, what is available is this one, and it looks to be exactly the same. Another just cheap Chinese flasher. Same specifications and everything. So if you are looking for something, this is potentially, what you'd be looking for if you want to do this mod. I don't know if this one clicks or not. You'd have to read the reviews or whatever to find that out, or just buy it yourself and see. But again, that one is the silent one. It's the one that is still clicking and flashing right now. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. So a nice, simple thing. Again, the hardest part really is just contorting yourself up under the dash and finding the wires in the wiring harness. But again, really straightforward, really simple, not all that difficult to do. And I mean, I can't tell you 100%, but I'm pretty confident in saying that if you were to sell your car and you took out the LEDs and put incandescents back in, I'm pretty sure it'd still work fine. You wouldn't have to reconnect the wires, because all you're doing is taking the job of flashing the turn signals out of the LCM and making that specific flasher do it. So I can't imagine that running normal bulbs would have any adverse effects after doing this mod. Again, I haven't done that myself, but I can't imagine that you'd run into any problems. But that really is about it for this video. I say about it, but I see that we're almost 11 minutes in or so. I'll have another video that's coming out specifically comparing the LED bulbs to the stock bulbs, because when I installed them, I took a lot of comparison footage just to see the difference in brightness and everything. So be on the lookout for that. But by all means, if you have any questions on the mod, feel free to leave them down below, and I'll try and help you out. But I mean, really, it's about as easy as a modification as you could get to get really nice LED turn signals without them blinking like mad. So yeah, that about wraps it up for this video. Thank you very much for watching. I hope this was helpful, and I hope you all have a good day. Take care, and I'll see you in my next video.